Did you know that financial education only accounts for 0.1% variance in financial behavior? 0.1%. Okay, so this is crazy, but also validating at the same time because I feel like I've been talking about this for years that financial education only is not sufficient. So, why is that important for you? Why should should we be shouting this from the rooftop? If we want to make a difference, we're going to talk about that today on this episode. So, welcome, guys. I'm Dr. Latifat, founder of MoneyFit MD. I help women physicians live richer, freer, and wealthier lives. I am not shook, but I am glad that someone finally did a meta analysis. So, this was an article. You can find it online. I saw it on getoutofdebt.com.org, excuse me. And it was a meta-analysis looking at over 201 studies. Okay. And the reason why this is important is because I am glad that financial education is now becoming more available and some high school students are getting financial education, which is great. However, this meta-analysis compiled over 201 or so studies. And what they found was that the financial education alone will only account for about 0.1 difference. So if financial education alone is not, then what is? Why is this important? As a woman physician, for many years, a lot of the financial education that was out there was really not meant with, was not created with us in mind, right? It's like very bro finance. If you don't like spreadsheets, you're screwed. All of that. That was what I walked into. That's where I started when I wanted to learn about financial education, right? It was not vibing because it could not go from I could not go from the knowledge to application. And the reason why I started MoneyFit MD was because I figured out another way to learn finances that did not require me to memorize every lingo that existed. And I had to take it from the bro finance to one that was like kinder, more relationship based. And as I applied it, I started to see the result. And that's why I've been able to go from like multiple six figures in debt to get into first seven figures within 5 years, being able to take a year off traveling with my kids. We visited about 20 countries, and now I get to practice medicine 7 days a month, which is awesome. I get to see patients, take care of patients, serve women physicians, spend time with my family, mentor people in my community, and do other things that I enjoy doing. Because I don't hate medicine like many of you. We just want to practice it on our terms, right? And so many of you guys may have experienced a situation where you're so frustrated because you're like, I am learning, I am seeing, but nothing is changing. It is not because you are crazy. I feel like someone may be crying right now. It is not because you're crazy. It's because there's some other components that actually is important. And this component is not talked about as much in the bro financial world, but also it's because there is a gap between knowledge and results, between knowledge and outcome. In fact, I remember one of our alumni from the Wealth Village. When she came in, I remember her, big shout out to her. She was like, Dr. Latifat, I read all this financial stuff. I read the blogs. I read the articles. You know, she had the baseline stuff done. She was like, she had an emergency fund. She had the index funds, but she knew that there was more. But now here she was with the education, but she was not getting the results. I mean, again, she was not in financial trouble. She had the basis down. She was okay. She was not living paycheck to paycheck. So she was But then she was not creating the richer, freer life. She wanted to cut down at work, but she was not able to. And regardless of what she was doing, it felt like her life was not changing. And that's when she came into the Wealth Village. And that's how she was able to close the gap. And so for you that you may be listening right now and you are at a place where you're like, Latifat, you are calling me out. This is me. I got the basics, but I'm not living richer. I can't cut down at work. I'm not having more time for hobbies. I'm still stressed. I'm not taking vacations like I want to. If that's you, there probably is an underlying belief that you have that my knowledge should be what creates the results. And that's why you're spending so much time learning and learning and learning and learning and learning. And now you feel constipated. You're like, I am so constipated. I feel like I need to have a good poop. And that is why one of the things that we talk about inside of the Wealth Village is having a good poop. You're like, Latifah, crazy. Yeah, she sure is. But that's why you listen to this podcast, because you, my friend, are also a touch cray cray. we, we know ourselves, right? And the truth about it is this: it is not just about the consumption, it is about the production. It is about taking what you're consuming, applying it, and that is what now creates results, the outcome. So it's not just about the input, it's about applying it and output. Like, it doesn't matter how much veggies you got in your kitchen. If you are not consuming it, you're not gonna, like, you may have a fiber full house, but you're not gonna have like a fiber filled life, right? When I started my journey, I was like, God, why would a GI doctor be talking about money? What is the relationship? What I did not know was there is so much alignment between money, wealth, and GI tract. So it aligns. It aligns. And I hope as you're listening right now, you are getting excited because you're like, okay, this makes sense, because it is not just the knowledge. Because if you take the knowledge and you don't apply it, you're not going to get the result. In fact, for me, my life changed when I was like, I'm going to stop memorizing 401ks and actually start doing 401k. I'm not going to like stop at what is the cash on cash for those that are doing real estate. I'm going to actually look for deals. I'm not going to look for deals. I'm going to actually put in offers, right? So what you need is not just the knowledge, because it's not knowledge that creates results. It is knowledge plus the application is what leads to wisdom, and that's what creates results. And so the question now becomes, why are you not taking action? And there are many reasons why you're not taking action. For one, for many physicians, it's like you haven't created the time. Right? Time can be a factor. That's why things like the CEO Money Hour is changed the lives of women that have learned it inside of our Wealth Village. Because now they've gone from like, I don't have time, to, wait a minute, so I don't need all the time. All I need is 1 hour a week. And they're applying the knowledge that they're getting, and they're able to take that knowledge and actually apply it in 1 hour a week, and they're getting results. Can you see how we change? Like, literally, your life can change in a very short amount of time when you actually decide that you're done learning only and you're ready for application. And so if you're like, time is a factor, the CEO Money Hour is the solution to that. The other thing that a lot of women physicians tell me is they don't know what is the best decision. Because at the end of the day, the faster you make decisions, the wealthier you're going to be. That's just the truth. The faster you make decisions, the wealthier you're going to be. So if you're someone that has like analysis paralysis, or you're procrastinating, you're waiting for the perfect time, that when the kids are old enough, when the kids are young enough. In fact, I remember reading this. This is like, I was sharing about how we were able to travel around the world, and I will never forget this person that posted and said, I wanted to do this as well. I wanted to take a sabbatical, but my youngest was too young. And then later, my oldest was too old. There is never going to be a perfect time. So if you are struggling with making decisions because of procrastination, because I'm waiting for the perfect time, because I'm waiting for the perfect scenario, the important thing is to make the best decision based on the data you have. In fact, I was listening to this. I forget where I was reading this. I don't know if I was reading it or listening to it. because I like to learn, because that improves how much I'm able to teach and how much I'm able to apply, right? I don't learn for learning's sake. I learn to apply, I learn to teach, I learn to instruct. That's part of my job as a wealth coach for women physicians. And this thing that I read or listened to was talking about how it is so important for us to not wait for the perfect time. And how many people keep saying perfect time and then they get to like time is going. I blinked and I was in my 40s. Some of you blinked and you're in your 50s. Some of you blinked and you're like the days are long, but the years are short. So if you are not seeing your finances change, your life change, you're like, I've been wanting to cut down at work, but that's not happening. You're like, I've been wanting to take a sabbatical. That's not happening. I've been wanting to grow my real estate, but that's not happening. I've been wanting to launch my practice or launch my business. You may have decision fatigue. And the best thing for you to do is not to learn more, but to make decisions faster. There was an interview, I think it was Mel Gibson and Gary Vee, I believe. It may not be Gary Vee, one of someone that is a well-known marketer. I think it's Seth Godin, actually. And they were talking about this and how many times we think that our decisions is what leads to the outcome that we want. And there are so many things that go into play between your decision and your outcome that the best thing you can do is not to try and draw a linear path between your decision and your outcome, but instead just make the best decision you can now. The faster, the more expeditedly, the more efficient you are with making decisions, the wealthier your life is going to be. Because at least you would have tried different experiments and not be stuck. So when we are coaching in the Wealth Village, it is not rare. I mean, this is literally what we do every week is we help women physicians make decisions that actually help them create their life that they want. And for example, someone could come in and say, I'm thinking about active real estate versus passive real estate. And now it's not because active is bad or passive is bad. We are making decisions in the context of their life. So they will leave the call with the decision of like, okay, I'm going to be putting an offer into my first property, or I'm going to be finding the best right vehicle that I want to align with in order to build my next passive income, right? And so this is why it is so important for you to be in a community where it's not just about learning. And honestly, there are Facebook groups where you can learn information. There are blogs where you can learn information. And there is an extent to which that would be helpful for you. But if you're finding that you are still not changing things, it may mean that you need someone and a community to actually help you make decisions. Help you make decisions because, again, if it was time, the CEO Money Hour may be the best thing for you. If it is decisions, then being in the right community may be the best thing that you need to do. So those are some other things, right? That are the two time and decision making are the two most critical things when it comes to moving things forward. Because this is how the psychology of money, the behavior of money, the decision, the velocity of money, the movement of money, this is how those things happen, my dear. So again, love to you. So much love to you. But I hope that you are encouraged and also you are hopeful because now you're like, okay, it makes sense now. And I know the gap. I know what I need to do. I need to maybe find a community. I need to find someone that can help me. I need to now go from just learning to actually taking actions and making moves because the more moves you make, the more money you're going to make. The better efficient moves you make, the more results that you are going to create. And I will be honest with you, this is part of why the Wealth Village works for women that are building wealth because we don't help you sit down stuck. We help you make decisions. And women in a year, in 12 months, they are creating results that they have not been able to create in 10 years. 10 years. Imagine the difference that that could make in your life. If instead of getting a result at the age of 65, you get it at the age of 55. That means the quality of your 10 years will be different. Your net worth will be different. Your relationship will be different. Your energy level will be different. Your burnout could be less. Because, guys, at the end of the day, the goal is not to retire at 65 so you can hopefully live your best life. The goal is for you to like create freedom early as possible so that you can live a life of freedom. And honestly, I'm an example of that. And I'm not the only example. There are other women physicians in our community that have cut down their hours. They cut down their hours. They're living life healthier. They're having fun while creating diverse income sources so that at the end of the day, their quality of life is better now, not later. That is what it means to live a wealthy life. I hope this has been helpful for you. If I can be of help, go to moneyfitmd.com/wealth village. You can learn more about what we do inside of the wealth village and see if this is the right place for you to move on to your next level. So, congratulations. It is not you. You are not the problem. But maybe now it's time to leverage the right thing, the right tools to be able to create what you want sooner rather than later. I love you. Pleasure hanging out with you. See you in the next episode. And if this was helpful, don't forget to share it because more women physicians need to know that they are not the problem. I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye. Thank you for listening. I hope this was fabulously helpful for you. If it has been, two things. Don't forget to leave us a review on whatever platform you're listening to because this is how other people find us. And I really, really would appreciate it because we want to help more women physicians like you. So leave us a review. That's number one. Number two, if there's any woman physician that you know could benefit from what you just learned today, do not hoard. Let it not end with you. And the way you do that is simply take the link and text it, share it, and thank you very much for being a part of growing our community. Enjoy the rest of your day.